Good evening, I guess. You are watching Caffeinated Conversations After Dark with Brooke Allen. Thank you so much for being with us. This is our very first episode, and I am just thrilled with all the turnout that we've gotten, all the support, all the media that we've gotten on this show. This is monumental, and I say that because this is our first episode, and we are launching not only the show, but a historic initiative between Mothers Against Drunk Driving, Michigan, and Michigan Breweries. This is indeed the first time ever in history that MAD and breweries have collaborated. And to me, that is just so amazing.
Deserves a round of applause.
So I would like to tell you a little bit about where we are. We are at the Heights Brewery in Farmington, downtown Farmington. They are the first brewery to come on board. We are so grateful to Sean and Ryan. They are a husband and wife team which own the Heights Brewery. They've only been open 3 months, and you know what? When they were approached with this idea, they jumped on board completely, and we are so thankful for that. So first of all, a fun fact about the Heights actually is that it is a gluten-free brewery.
Crazy.
It is crazy. So this has been an amazing thing, and I do not drink beer, but I drink their beer because it is good. And
absolutely.
Yes, it is good, right? So
yes.
So we are at the Heights Brewery in downtown Farmington. They are the first one to come on board. We are so thankful again to Sean and Ryan and their team. We will be hearing from them soon. But again, thank you guys so much. They're way over there at the end of the bar. So another fun fact, there has been so much going on between yesterday, Caffeinated Conversations with Brooke Allen, the daytime show. We were at Belle Isle. And then we had a couple of interviews, Channel 4, just throw it out there. WOMC, throw that one out there too. Thank you, Joanne. So we had a lot of stuff going on. And all day today, I kept thinking, I am forgetting to do something. What could I possibly be forgetting? Well, let me tell you what I forgot. I forgot to write the show. So that being said, we are winging it tonight.
And that's the point,
that was
right?
the point.
Yep,
that was the
absolutely,
point.
that's the
So in
point.
case you're wondering who this is Jasmine Buckle. She was on the show yesterday. She is the CEO of 586 Organics. She is also the co-host of Time Warp Live, which is Jason Waldron, Steve Hines, Time Warp Vintage, and St. Clair Shores. They are our presenting sponsor for the daytime show. Every show, actually, they're so amazing. But Jasmine, we had dinner a couple months ago.
We did.
And, she's, 25?
Yep.
She's 25 years old, and I didn't want to ask, but I did. I said, hey, Jazz, so I'm wondering, do you ever watch the daytime show? And she's like, I do. And that blank look, I'm like, oh, that's not good. But then she's like, I really enjoy it, but you know what? I think you kind of need to loosen up a little bit.
And loosen up in like a good way. Like Brooke is
lose the blazer, what?
She's a very personable person. I'm sure you guys know Brooke through and through, but I just want to see the side. I want you guys to see the side of her that I only get to see when we go out to dinner. It's great. Like, I love it.
So we were in the parking lot, and I said, so what, she's like, well, you need to have more fun. And I said, oh, okay, I'll try to have more fun.
And fun in a way where we talk about things that are intriguing or maybe a little bit abrasive to the ears that
maybe
you
a
don't
bit racy
hear all the time. Yes, racy is a great word. Like, I
heard somebody say, ooh.
I want to hear her and talk to different type of guests that maybe run medical marijuana businesses or maybe they own breweries, and I want to hear about things that aren't really looked at on the professional aspect.
Right. So I walked away from that dinner thinking, oh, I'm so old, and what am I doing? But then, it kept, no pun intended, but it kept brewing within me. I kept thinking, because I am a broadcaster by heart, and we all talk about ratings. We all talk about, I almost said John Petty because he's here, broadcasting professional. But, demographics matter in the business.
150%.
But what matters most to me is the idea of getting topics out there that we don't always talk about,
100%.
right? And so that has kind of been the whole deal. So Jasmine was instrumental in bringing that on. So as this is a fundraiser for MAD and to celebrate this huge initiative that we have launched, but we are also going to kick off Caffeinated Conversations After Dark. And so this is what we're doing. We have questions that we are going to ask you. If you've noticed, for the live studio audience, there are actually pieces of paper on the table with number 1 and number 2. So those are here.
Yep.
But if you're watching on Facebook or Instagram, wherever you're watching,
comment down below.
Yeah, you can also comment. So I'm going to actually I'm afraid I'm going to blush. So I'm going to let Jasmine Jasmine mentioned these questions that we're going to ask because this is part of the After Dark show. So go ahead, Jasmine.
Okay, guys, my very first intriguing question is going to be, if you guys are out looking, it doesn't have to be specifically looking for a romantic partner, but maybe you're just looking for a platonic friendship in somebody. Would you rather be the person that makes the first move, or would you prefer somebody to make that move on you first?
Okay, that's fair.
You don't really have to write why or anything like that, but just write you like to make the move, or would you prefer to make the move first?
Okay.
And then
All right.
our second question is going to be,
I can't even.
lights on or off, guys?
That's all we're saying about that. We're
Right.
not saying anything else.
And I know you guys did like probably double take that question and,
So say it
like
again.
yes, lights on or off, guys. Again, don't need a reason why, just lights on or off.
Simple question, yes or no, whatever.
Yep.
So thank you, Jasmine. Jasmine is actually going to be monitoring social media. She is with Time Warp Live. She does all their Instagram, all that stuff.
Yep,
Jason
sure.
and Jasmine do it. So she is going to be reading the comments for us as we continue the show. But again, those questions are, go ahead.
The first one is going to be, if you are out, doesn't have to be romantic, if you're looking, would you prefer to make that first move, or would you prefer to have somebody make that first move on you?
Oh, okay.
And then again, for our second racy question, it is going to be lights on or off.
Okay, so comment below. If you're here, write it down. Number 1, number 2. Thank you so much, Jasmine.
Yep, absolutely. It's
I
been a pleasure,
appreciate it.
Brooke.
Oh my
I truly
gosh.
appreciate
High
you.
five. Thank you, girl.
Thank you so much. Tonight's going to be
Thank you.
amazing.
All right.
Yes.
Well, thank you so much. Okay, so as we continue Caffeinated Conversations After Dark with Brooke Allen, Jasmine is stepping off. We are live, and like I said, I did not write this show, so we are simply just going to talk. So now with me is Sherry Stein of Design Team Plus, and Sherry is also instrumental in why we are here and how this kind of all came together. Because Sherry, I was in your office. It was a Friday. I was in your office, and we were talking, and I was telling you about this idea, the big brain idea I have, as my twins call it, as far as doing an after dark show, a different kind of demographic, different topics. And you said, what did you say? Tell me.
I said, well, we design a lot of breweries. Let's do it in a brewery.
Seems simple enough, right? But with my affiliation with MAD, and I told you right then, I said, I don't know that I can do that. I love that idea, but I don't know that I can do that because of my affiliation with MAD. I speak for them, and it's very important to me. So then Sherry said, well, you know what? I think we can maybe try to figure this out. Let's bring MAD on board and see what happens. And this is kind of how it escalated to this moment in time, right?
Right, and we all knew it was going to be bigger than us, right?
Yes.
We knew it was about saving lives. That was the most important thing.
Right.
But we had the vision together.
Yes, we did. And I'm so appreciative of that, of course. Harold and, of course, the team here at Heights, they are amazing. They jumped on board immediately after you guys approached them. And I just, so for you at Design Team Plus and for you to throw this idea out to me, I mean, you just went with it. And it was so awesome. And is that something you normally do in your... No?
No. It's a passion project. We saw it. We knew it was going to be about saving lives. And we're an architectural firm.
Right.
We're an architectural interior design firm who designed this space. The whole team is here. We have Joe Alter. We have Jacob Bonacorsi. We have Harold Remlinger. It's his birthday today.
Oh, happy birthday, Harold!
But when we're passionate about something, we put our all into it.
And, I'm so appreciative of that. And, of course, not only do we have this show going right now, but we also have an online auction because it is about raising awareness for Mothers Against Drunk Driving. So part of this show tonight has been all about that. So we have an online auction, which your team, you have contributed. So tell me what people can bid on.
There's two things. One is our time, Design Team Plus, either the architect, Harold Remlinger, licensed architect, or Sherry Stein, myself, 2 hours of time with us in our office to look at a possible project. So please feel free to bid on that. Also, Castell, a furniture dealership, has donated a beautiful desk chair, which is over there. So it's an ergonomic desk chair. So shout out to Castell and Bruce Bullard from Castell. Thank you very much.
And again, that auction will be open until tomorrow. And again, Sherry, I'm just so thankful for everything you guys have done. You jumped up. I wouldn't have thought of it without you. So
Thank you, Brooke. We appreciate it. We love the collaboration.
Thank you.
Take
And
care.
you brought gluten-free cupcakes. Love that! Because we love cupcakes. Thank you, Sherry. Okay, so coming up next is somebody who's very familiar to everybody who watches Caffeinated Conversations or Time Warp Live is Jason Waldron. And Jason, for any of you who do not know, Jason and Steve own Time Warp Vintage in St. Clair Shores. We will be hearing from Steve later because they have some items in the auction as well. But Jason, I don't exactly remember how I approached you about saying, hey, you know what? So how about we do a show in a brewery with Mad?
I remember it clearly.
Do
actually.
you?
Yes. I was a little surprised at first about the fact that a brewer would even be interested in doing this, and the fact that we have somebody who is interested, like Heights Brewery, is amazing to me. So I said, yes, let's take it to Mad. Let's see what they say, because stepping into a bar or a brewery is something that Mad has not done before. And recently, Mad National did partner with Anheuser-Busch, which opened the door to that.
Right, for sure.
And we ran with it.
We did indeed.
Because leave it to Michigan.
Here we are.
We're going to run with it.
We are going to run with it. And
but I do want to tell you that we just had a special guest step in.
Did we?
The mayor of Farmington.
Really?
So, yes.
Hi.
So maybe we can talk him into coming in and saying a few words about Farmington with you.
Yeah, really.
That'd be pretty
Well, I
cool.
kept looking at him thinking, he looks familiar. I don't know who that, have I dated you? No, never mind.
Now he's definitely not going.
No, he just ran out. Never mind. He just resigned. Well, we'll be looking forward to talking to the mayor. But Jason, you and I, of course, we both have our stories, which is what brought our affiliation with MAD. And we actually did. I'm going to be transparent about this. We did have a conversation about this because we've been all over the media talking about our stories and why we're doing this. And we decided that we were not going to go in depth with our stories tonight.
Because we want to focus on the people we lost, of course, as we always do, but we want to focus on the fact that we are here to celebrate them. And what do you do when you celebrate? You have a good time. Right. Because I can tell you that the people that I lost, they would want us to have a good time. And there's enough pain and sorrow in this world that we need to turn situations like this around. Right. And enjoy it, laugh, have fun in the memories of them. For sure. So that's what this is about.
And I can tell you, as far as George goes, my former husband, he loved a good time. So.
So did my father.
So that's all we're going to say about that. But we do this for them. We do it, and we do it actually for ourselves because it's selfish, but I do it for. I originally started doing it for my daughter, and she was 11 when her dad got killed, and I thought this would help her, this association with MAD. And the dove release we did in California, let me tell you, it did not go well. She was horrified, and I was like, what just happened with that dove? And from then on, she was never involved again. And I don't blame her. And you've told me, too, because you were the same age.
I was 10.
You were 10 when you lost your family, and she was 11 when her dad got killed. And so you identify with that, and you've actually kind of helped me understand.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, when you're a child and you lose a parent, it's devastating. I mean, any loss is devastating. I hate to pinpoint a certain one over another, but I feel that as a child, you learn to live with situations quicker because you are told what to do. You still have that innocence about you, so you depend on those around you. So we don't have all that craziness in our head as adults telling us what's wrong, what's right, what's wrong, what's right. Right. So we learn to build the bridges over those holes that we have in our hearts, because those who say that time heals, they don't heal, they teach. They teach us how to learn.
Right. And it moves differently.
Absolutely.
Right? It just changes. Yes, it just changes.
35 years it took me before I could stand up. Yes. And you guys are going to see at breaks the stories of some of the survivors that are here.
Yes, they're here.
Well.
Yes, actually.
And because we wanted to talk about why they work with MAD to make a difference versus telling a story of somebody they lost. Right. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, and something that I need to address is that being in the media and all of that, we have pretty good connections.
Yes.
right? I mean, I can call the mayor, maybe. I can call the mayor and say, can you come to the show? But as, you know, when that crash happened and everything kind of went down, I didn't know how to handle it, and I didn't know how to navigate it.
Right.
And I've never been in a courtroom. I've never been at a preliminary hearing or trial. And honestly, had it not been for Mothers Against Drunk Driving, I would not have known how to handle that. And they were incredible with kind of walking me through the process, the court process, because it is a lot. And then also the victim impact statement, which we will get to later. But that, you know, the whole idea of not knowing what you're doing during a time when you're when you're grieving,
Right.
and shuffling everything going on around it, you know, it's a lot. And I will always say to the day I die that Mothers Against Drunk Driving helped me so much. And for that is why I do this. That is why we are here right now.
It is absolutely why we're here right now.
Said I wasn't going to cry. I've done it 3 weeks in a row.
Well,
Okay.
it's you know, it depends on the person. It
does.
depends on the person. 35 years before I could stand up, I speak at victim impact panels. There are several people here who do. And you know, when you have to stand up and you have to be that descriptive, you have to really be okay with who you are and what you've went through.
Right.
And it takes time.
It does.
But you know what? Throughout that time of healing and learning, we can celebrate those we lost. We can celebrate trying to make a change. And that's what we need to do. We need to celebrate the fact that we're trying to make a change instead of making it work. Because it takes all of us.
It does.
You know.
It takes all of us, and you guys. I've said it on Fox 2. I said it on I've said it on every interview we've done. It's not about not drinking.
No.
It's about drinking and being safe after.
And being safe. Don't get behind the wheel even with one drink.
Right.
I mean, the MADS, what we stand for is, you know, I can say that because I'm the board chair for MAD Michigan, and we stand for do not get behind the wheel intoxicated under any type of influence. And I mean, we talk about alcohol all the time, but there's marijuana, there's, you know, prescription pills, there's all sorts of stuff that can cause impairment in driving. And so as MAD does not want you to not have a good time, they do not want you to not drink, they do not want you behind the wheel intoxicated.
And that's the key.
And that's it.
That's it. It seems simple.
Little Miss all over the place.
All over the place, right? We have her
Yeah.
all over, all
Love-
the PSAs. I
yes.
love her so much.
So,
Okay, well, thank you, Jason.
oh, absolutely. You'll see me again.
Yes, we'll
Yeah.
see you repeatedly.
And to all of our Time Warp Live followers, this is who I tell you about all the time, is Brooke Allen. It's so funny. So, are we all set?
Oh,
Very
okay.
good.
Well, I guess this is what's happening.
I love it. Okay.
This is such a different format than the morning show.
Great job, Jason.
We're not going to break. We're not going to videos. We are just switching people out right in front of you. This is what we're doing. This is what we are doing tonight because I forgot to write the show. Okay, so I am with Sean. And hi, Sean, co-owner of the Heights Brewery. You and Ryan own this, and this has been an amazing, amazing journey to be with you guys and for you to be all in on this. And I want to say thank you from the bottom of my heart for this because this initiative is so huge. So I guess I do want to ask you though, what were you thinking when we asked you this?
I thought it was a great message. I'm a mom.
Yeah.
I have, between Ryan and I, we have 3 children. We are not for drunk driving. We are for enjoying great tasting beer that he just happens to make. And coming out and having
behind us.
great barbecue that he just happens to cook.
Right.
This was everything we were doing at home. We wanted to share it with the world, but we don't want that to impact anyone's lives negatively. That is not the goal of any brewery owner. That's not the goal of any business owner, whether it's a restaurant that serves alcohol or a bar. Nobody wants anyone injured. That's not the purpose of any of this. So when I was approached, I thought, wow, this is a great idea.
Right.
Absolutely. 100% on board.
And I should say that you guys do Safe Serve.
Yes, we do.
Which I don't know the statistics on how many breweries or restaurants participate in that, but it was a very interesting connection because that is something that you do here at the Heights Brewery.
Absolutely. We want our staff informed. We want them knowledgeable. We want them to feel empowered. If there is someone at their table that seems like one more might be too much, they have the ability to say no. We're never going to override them. They don't have to ask us. They tell us, right? They come to us and they say, hey, I have this person at the table. This is how I feel. And we say, all right. And we go have a conversation with that table.
And I have to say, we were actually in here last week, and it actually happened while we were here.
Yes.
You guys locked him in the brew room.
Well, we didn't lock him in, just so everybody knows. I think that would be entrapment.
Sorry.
But
we have any
we
lawyers here?
definitely, we had already trespassed him for the way he had behaved his previous time in, and he came in, and I think it's a learned behavior with people that have, alcohol abuse problems. Clearly, it's a learned behavior. He left the first time. We felt he fully understood. A few days later, he walked right back in, went to sit at the bar like nothing happened, and had to intervene before he could even take a seat and have the conversation in the brew house, because we're not going to do it here. We're not going to do it in front of everybody. We're not trying to embarrass him, but we had to let him know, hey, look, your picture's on our wall. You're not getting by anybody here.
Right.
We have this here for a reason. We want our staff to know, and we want our staff to be safe. It's safe for everybody. We want our employees to feel safe when they're here and comfortable. It has to be an opening and welcoming environment to come and enjoy yourself.
And you know what? I think that's what everyone here is doing tonight, enjoying yourself and having a good time. And
thank you guys. Thank you so much for letting us be a part of this.
thank you, Sean. Thank you. So I think we're switching out now with the mayor.
Yes. It's all you.
Next on the telethon.
Hi.
Somebody else to join in here. All right.
How are you?
Very well.
Good.
Thank you. Thanks
Okay.
for being here in Farmington today.
Well, hey, we love Farmington. Actually, this is where
you have
we
a great
kicked-
taste in spots.
I do. And we kicked off our very first show in Farmington at Blue Hat Coffee
I
Gallery.
remember that.
So see, Farmington is dear to my heart.
We'll have you back anytime.
Well, thank you. And I will disclose that we have never dated. Just
Appreciate that. For the sake of not only my political future, but also for the sanctity of the values of the city of Farmington, I appreciate that.
So now that we got that out of the way.
Oh, the hard stuff's over.
I know,
okay,
right?
good.
So now I can start grilling you in questions. So okay, so when I know you just got this notice that we were doing this.
Yes.
Pretty short notice.
Yes.
But thank you so much for stopping by. And what is your impression of this?
I mean, overall, things like this are why we have this vibrant downtown that we have here. This is the kind of activity and programming and really just interaction that we want to see. This is why we've invested so much in the community. So my overall impression is extremely positive. And I certainly see a lot of areas where MAD's goals and public policy intersect in terms of regional transit and being able to provide people alternative means of getting to and from where they're going, and so you don't ever have that risk of getting behind the wheel, as you were just discussing with Jason and others.
Right.
So I see a lot of opportunity for us as elected officials and policymakers to really advance the goals of organizations like MAD so that we can do our part to keep everybody safe.
Well, and I appreciate that. And so Blue Hat Coffee Gallery, Philip over there, right? He
Yeah.
was. That was where we held our very first show,
Mm-hmm.
and it's so interesting because this is such a walkable downtown. So after people leave here, they can actually go to Blue Hat Coffee Gallery because they have a gift card. That's all happening, right? But it's the whole idea of being walkable and being able to go from one venue to another and enjoying yourself and then doing it safely.
Yeah, 100%. And on top, we have a full event platform here in the city, whether it's our Art on the Grand coming up in June, Founders Festival in July, but in general, we also have a unique feature, our social district, which allows you to actually take a beverage from a place like the Heights and walk around town while enjoying your beverage. And this is just one more thing where we get people up, we get them moving, because consumption goes down when you have activity coupled with your
Beverage of choice.
beverage of choice.
So was that something that came, the social district, that was something that came though during the pandemic, right?
Yeah, that was
That's
a
what
COVID.
started.
That was a COVID
thing.
innovation. But what I would say, as somebody who is a recovering automotive guy and now in public policy, I've had the chance
How's
to
that going
travel.
for you?
It's
Never
going
mind.
really well, evidently. I've had a chance to travel and be in other places where that was normal, to be able to be in a public place with a beverage in hand and go from place to place, and places like Germany, places like France. These types of areas really are the leaders in where we took that example from, and now we've implemented it here.
Well, I just want to say thank you so much for stopping by. I did not introduce you at the beginning.
That's okay.
I just got handed a note.
It's all you. Let me see if I have a card for you, Brooke.
Do you have a
Let me
card?
see,
Because
it won't have my cell phone on the back because I can't have you. I can't have you sliding in like that. The First Lady of Farmington will have words about that.
Tell her I'll buy her a coffee. I'm so sorry.
I will. That would be very helpful.
I will take care of that. Thank you so much. Joe LaRusso, Mayor of Farmington, thank you so much.
My pleasure.
Well, thank you so much for being with us. Again, this is Caffeinated Conversations After Dark with Brooke Allen. We are live from the Heights Brewery in Farmington, and we've got so much going on. We have a live studio audience, of course. It's just amazing. This is a gluten-free brewery, which is even more amazing. We'll be getting to that later with Ryan. But we do, this is a fundraiser for Mothers Against Drunk Driving, and we're so proud of this initiative that has gone throughout Michigan, and also we've seen it picked up on a couple of wires out of state, like California, also Colorado and Florida. So it's pretty cool. The word is getting out there, and we are so proud. We are actually going to hear from a victim of a drunk driving crash, actually her family member. It's Taylor, right? We are going to throw it to Taylor's video right now.
Hi everyone, my name is Taylor Greason, and I have been a volunteer for Mothers Against Drunk Driving for the last 3 years. Over the years, I have been provided endless opportunities to share my loved ones' stories across my home state of Michigan and in Kentucky. My story is rather unique, as my family has been impacted by impaired driving on 3 separate occasions. On January 31st, 1944, at the age of 24 years old, my great-grandma was killed by a trusted individual who she at the time did not know was under the influence. After going at a high-rated speed for some time off of a dirt road in Mooresville, Indiana, this said individual purposely crashed the vehicle into a bridge. Immediately following the crash, the car had caught fire, leaving my great-grandma pinned in the passenger seat for over 45 minutes, unable to move or call for help. When first responders were finally able to put out the fire and retrieve her from the passenger seat, she stayed conscious long enough to give them her name, her address, and the name of her 2 sons before passing away. On December 2nd of 2005, my grandpa was killed by a repeat drunk driving offender in Ionia, Michigan on a job site. Dennis Brown had only been out of prison for 8 months after serving 3 years in a state prison for causing a DUI-related crash, resulting in severe injury in a young girl and her mother. The night that he killed my grandfather, he was leaving his family-owned bar in his mother's vehicle. Instead of stopping to call for help or to render aid, Dennis continued to drive and was caught a few miles up the road at a convenience store attempting to buy more alcohol. In the court proceedings, Dennis was charged on unrelated charges to the death of Martin Stott and was sentenced to 22 years in Ionia State Prison, to where he would only serve 8 years and 11 months and would be released due to good behavior. On February 14th, 2015, at the age of 26 years old, a man that I grew up calling Uncle Jason had been killed by yet another repeat drunk driving offender. Jason was on his way home from work when he was hit head-on by a wrong-way driver at 4:10 in the morning on US 127, a mile and a half away from Jolly Road Exit 11 in Lansing. Both Jason and the person at fault had died as a result of their injuries. Jason had died on impact, while Zachary Whiting died on his way to the hospital. It took 8 weeks for toxicology to come back, and when the report was released, we learned that Zachary Whiting had a blood level of a 0.139%. The fluid of his eyes came out to be a 0.141%, and his urine came out to be a 0.215%, all of which tested positive for THC and alcohol. It is because of the support that I have received over the years from Mothers Against Drunk Driving that I have found my newfound strength in my grieving process to share the names and voices of my loved ones, and I only hope that people can learn from it.
And again, that is Taylor sharing her story. She is actually here. And Taylor, thank you so much for joining us here this evening. A fact that many people don't understand or realize is that 2 out of 3 people will be impacted by drunk driving in their lifetime, which is kind of amazing numbers and not good. So that is the whole purpose of why we're here tonight and trying to change that. We do have, we're trying to raise money for Mothers Against Drunk Driving. We're doing that with ticket sales, food here at the Heights, also with an online auction that we've got going on. And Steve Hines is here with us. And Steve is the co-owner of Time War Vintage in St. Clair Shores with Jason. And Steve, thank you so much for being here. And yeah, you can give him a big shout out, man. We love them. Oh, what? Someone's yelling your name. What's up with that? It is risque, isn't it? And so here, we're going to do, okay. It's live. This is what we're doing. Yep. So I do want to say also that you guys do a show on Tuesdays. on Tuesdays that is actually, we are sharing your feed right now. So
Correct.
I appreciate that. I just wanted to say thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you so much. Okay, so we have an online auction going on. You've got some very cool stuff for anyone who's never been to Time Warp Vintage. I love hanging out there, not just because they're a sponsor, but I do really go there. But Steve, tell me what's in the online auction
Well,
for
we
us.
put in a couple of beer signs, Miller Lite and a genuine draft. One's from 2004. It's a Harley mirror sign. And the other one is from the late 90s. It's a motion sign that actually has what looks like little miniature laser discs or CDs spinning around.
Right.
Perfect for the man cave.
And
Just
they're,
thought they'd be appropriate.
Yes, they are, and they're beautiful. And I just want to say thank you so much
You're
for
welcome.
For doing that for us. And then for anyone who's not familiar with everything you do for Time Warp Vintage, you actually buy stuff, right? You are the one who goes out and kind of says, oh, you know what? I think we want that.
Yeah, I do all the buying. Everything there I found somewhere. I go out every morning and garage sales, estate sales, people's homes. People bring things in. Just never know where you're going to find what.
So what are you looking, when you are out there scanning for something, what are you looking for? Just something unique or something that I don't know. I mean, how do you do that?
I've been doing it since I was a kid. You want anything that is just evokes memories of a certain period, decade, year, time in school, whatever. People just like anything that brings back the memories of what they miss, they're nostalgic for. And it used to take 20, 30 years for people to do that. Now these kids are coming in their early 20s, they're nostalgic for what they had when they were 10 or 11.
Right. So, you know what? Hold your mic up a little more because I don't want anyone to miss what you're saying because you're so fabulous. But the whole idea of I've heard Jason talk about this repeatedly, and you just mentioned it. The whole idea of going to the store because it evokes those memories.
Yes.
And when I go there, it's so funny because I always see like, oh, that was like my grandmother's candy dish or
That
the
is
plate.
the number one phrase used in our store is, my grandmother had one of those.
Really?
And from that perspective too, we concentrate on 1950s to 1990s in large part is because what those people that shop with us remember. A lot of this stuff that's actual antiques from the early 1900s, 1800s, people aren't as nostalgic for that. People collect it, but they're not nostalgic for it because they weren't there when it was used the first time.
Right. So it's not that recollective memory,
Correct.
right?
And
Okay.
people are more nostalgic than
Interesting.
collectors, I think, now.
Okay. So explain the difference between vintage and antique.
Well, antique technically is anything over 100 years.
Okay. I'm not an antique yet. That's good.
With cars, it's 25 years. With cars, it's 20 years for collectible. But, you know, a collectible and vintage are kind of almost interchangeable. One sounds a little better than the other.
Fancier, maybe.
But there's no real definition that I've ever seen.
Okay.
I mean, there's people out there that anything used is vintage.
Okay. But that's
So-
not correct, though.
Not in my eyes, but
Okay.
there's people that
That
look at it. I mean,
look
just
at it.
like mid-century.
Right.
You know, people interchangeably use the phrase mid-century, and that could be anything that was made in the mid-century. But there's a lot of things that aren't necessarily the style that people think of as mid-century.
Okay.
So it's Danish modern is what people think of. Terms are interchangeable.
Okay. Interchangeable, but you know, I mean, it is fascinating to come to the store, and you guys have had such great items. You had the Beatles collection,
Yeah,
which
yeah.
was amazing to see, and you just do so much. And I know that you do. You don't do estate sales anymore, right?
No, we stopped doing
you
those
stopped
after
doing
the
those.
pandemic.
Okay. But if somebody wanted to get in touch with you, I have people messaging me actually to get in touch with you guys to see if you want something. Like, hey, do you
Okay.
think they want this luggage? I'm like, I don't know. I guess I'll ask. But people can do that.
Oh, yes, absolutely. They can text or email pictures. They can, I'm not going to do my cell phone on here, but call the store. They'll ask a couple of questions, but we generally ask that people text pictures of the items they wish to sell. We don't take walk-ins, otherwise they would just have a line out the door every
Okay.
day. And we don't do appraisals either.
Okay. All right. Well, listen, it's always a pleasure to speak to you and
Yes,
to see you, and
absolutely.
thank you so much. And Time Warp Vintage, they are in St. Clair Shores off Harper.
We're at 13 on Harper. We're the west side of Harper, north of 13 Mile next to Buscemi's.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Thank
It's
you.
always a pleasure. And I know you're not really crazy about being on camera, but I thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Steve. All right. Let's give Steve a big hand. So hi.
So hi. So I'm sitting in for Sue Strong because
Okay.
she is caught in traffic.
Okay, yes.
So shoot away with the questions, and if I see her walk in,
And we'll just switch you out.
we
okay,
will
so
switch me out.
So first of all, tell us who Sue Strong is for people who
Sue
may not
Strong
know.
is the program coordinator for MAD.
Right.
And she handles all the law enforcement liaisons. She does the law enforcement luncheon that we go and that
Yes.
you MC every
Right.
year, as well as she handles all the victim impact panels. And what that is where we have victims that go in and speak to first and second offenders. So that way we can try and educate the people who are currently getting caught drunken and driving. And I say getting caught because it's not always the first time. It's
Correct.
the first time getting caught.
Right.
So she oversees all of that. So it's an amazing position for her, and I don't know how she does it because she has to deal one-on-one with a lot of the tragedies that happen right away. So that is what she does, and hopefully she'll walk in.
Yes,
in
I'm
any
hoping she
minute.
does walk in. I think Sue was maybe the first person I met from MAD when I moved back from California, and she's been there for years, and we're so grateful for all the work she does. She does do the Lifesavers
She does.
Award Luncheon, which is where policemen and law officials from around the state are actually nominated by their peers for their work that they do. Because some of these policemen and officers, I mean, they're amazing. They actually have a passion for catching these offenders out there on the roads, and they make it their mission. And the counts that they have are amazing.
Oh, absolutely. And the training they go through.
The training, yes.
Especially since, marijuana is now legal. And, when you pull over somebody who is intoxicated with alcohol, it's very easy to do the breathalyzer or the blood test if they don't do the breathalyzer to get a BAC level. But with marijuana, you're not always, there's no test really. So they're put through extensive testing and training and to identify the different
And they
signals.
opt in for that.
They have to, yes.
Yes, they opt in
into
for that. So that's not
Yeah.
something that's required as an officer. That is
Correct.
something that they choose to do because they believe in the mission so much.
Correct, and it's not just the law enforcement that does that too, because the Coast Guard also have people who, and it's important to mention the Coast Guard because we are surrounded. We have some of the longest beaches in the country.
Right.
And so we have a huge water aspect of it, and so the Coast Guard, along with the cities that border the water, their law enforcement, they go through the same training.
Yeah.
And so, you cannot drive any motor vehicle, anything with a motor.
On the road or on the water.
On the road, in the water. I mean, there's been incidences, people didn't want to drive their car, so they took their riding lawnmower to get more, and they still got busted and got a DUI because it had a motor.
Right. So you have to be careful.
So, yeah. you
Lawnmowers
do.
don't count. Well, they do count, actually.
Yeah. They do.
For sure.
Yeah.
Well, okay, so if Sue comes, we will definitely be talking to her.
Oh, absolutely.
And, I just want to say thank you again to you and Steve. You guys have been so amazing for the kickoff of the show. This show, the other show, all the shows that we do.
Well, I got to tell you, I've known you for, 5 years now? And we speak at a lot of the Mothers Against Drunk Driving things. But the work I've done with you, with Caffeinated Conversation, is some of the proudest work I've done. And I'm going to tell you that.
Thank you.
So, because
Here we go again.
The fact that you have the same passion I have when it comes to drinking and driving and Mothers Against Drunk Driving, we are the exact same age, which is...
And I guess I should also say that we also always order the same food at
do.
the
It's
menu,
weird.
at the restaurants. It's the
weird.
weirdest thing.
But
It's like avocado on the side, please? Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. But the things that you've showed me in the media and in this industry, because I've been doing Time Warp Live for 7 years, believe it or not.
Yeah.
Jasmine's been with me for 3 of those years, and the things I've learned is incredible. And I just wanted to take this minute that I have, unexpectedly, to thank you for everything you've taught me, and the fact that I could be part of your journey through this is amazing.
Thank you so much, Jason. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Thank you. Now, where's that avocado? Okay, so Jasmine is coming back, and and thank you so much. I just want to tell you, in case you happen to be streaming and thinking, why is she on in the evening? What is happening?
Yes, because
it
of
is
new
not.
stuff,
It is
but-
not Monday morning. What is going on? Well, as you can see by my lovely sign provided by Dave Scott at My Michigan TV, Caffeinated Conversations After Dark with Brooke Allen, that is what we're doing right now. This is happening. We are in the middle of it.
This is it.
This is it. This is going. And, it is a partnership between Mothers Against Drunk Driving and the breweries in Michigan and the Heights Brewery in downtown Farmington. They were so gracious enough to jump on board with this. This is a huge initiative, one that we're so proud of, but also the whole Caffeinated Conversations After Dark aspect. We wanted to focus on that a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely.
A little bit, right? And so part of that mission of the show is to, once a month, we will be bringing you a show live from different breweries across Michigan, hopefully throughout Michigan, and then out of Michigan and into other states eventually. But the whole idea is to talk about topics in depth that people may be embarrassed to talk about or may not think it's appropriate. So, I mean, dating, sex, whatever, whatever,
All
right?
of it.
All of it, right? All of it. Whatever you want to talk about, we'll talk about. But it's part. Oh, somebody just said she said sex again. Was that my mom? No, it wasn't. Oh, Lynn's mom heard that. Okay, so apparently the moms are not crazy about me saying sex. I'm sorry. She's all right. Oh, she's all right with it. Good. Good. Okay, so as part of the Caffeinated Conversations After Dark, we've been asking questions.
Yep, we sure did. We asked two questions.
We had two.
Yep.
All right, so you have some answers because we do have a live audience right here.
And then also, too, if you guys are new viewers or maybe you guys just came into the brewery tonight, if you guys did not get to participate in those questions, I'll quickly repeat them just in case if you did want to participate. The first question is even if it's not romantic, maybe it's just platonic, do you prefer to make that first move or would you rather have that first made on you? And now for everyone's favorite question. Very basic, short and sweet, lights on or off. Don't need a reason, lights on or off, yep.
All right, so what do we have?
So these are anonymous. I don't know who these came from. I just walked around and grabbed them, so I'm gonna read a couple of here. The first one says, move on me. And the second answer is gonna be lights on. Risque. And then this one says, I've made the first move in the past, so I'm assuming that probably means that they'd want that first move made on them. Oh. And the second one is lights off, girl, feel it. This one says, honestly, I love the second answer for this one. First answer says make the first move, and I'm assuming that means like they themselves make that first move. And you guys ready for this golden answer? Midday, no need for lights. No need for lights, it's midday.
Okay, so let's try to figure, so that's obviously somebody here who's retired. Let's try to figure out who it is. I'm not gonna say who that is. It's the architect. Okay, all right, so midday, okay, go on, keep going.
So next one we got approach us, so they would be needing two answers here.
Okay.
And then the second answer is gonna be off with blackout curtains. With blackout curtains.
And a blindfold maybe?
And probably a bag maybe as well, who knows?
Oh my God, I think I'm blushing. I can't.
This one said, for their first answer, me make the first move, AKA it's on. And then their second answer was, it's been so long, they're not too sure yet.
Aw, that makes me sad.
I know, right? So you gotta get out there, live a little bit, experiment a little bit.
So maybe it's this clap on
type situation, yes. Oh gosh, I love these ones. We got our last couple here. It says, I always make the first move, so I'd rather have someone else make it.
Oh, okay.
Felt.
Lazy, whatever.
And they also prefer the lights off, so. This person has really nice handwriting. They got first move, and then their second answer is off.
With a question mark?
With a question mark. Yeah. And then the last one we have is move made on me and lights on. So I think our winner for this one is lights on, guys. Wow. Yeah, we had more lights on than lights off.
Wow,
so.
That's kind of crazy.
Yeah, it is pretty shocking.
I don't even know what people are yelling anymore.
So we do have a couple of really cool things today. Well, I have like this free moment just to remind everybody that we have two really cool, important things, three important things going on actually. If you are a TWL live streamer that you guys watch us faithfully every Tuesday, we are live streaming on Instagram, so go ahead and check that out. We also have Caffeinated Conversations with Brooke Allen after dark also happening right now. And then simultaneously, we also are running an event for Mothers Against Drunk Driving, and I would also like to bring some awareness to that as well. We can still have fun, but we are here for an important cause, so I just wanted to bring that up one more time.
Thank you, Jasmine.
Absolutely,
I appreciate
Brooke.
it.
Thank you for having us.
And you know, it's kind of, and you just mentioned it, I mean, it was perfect because this is all about raising awareness, but it's also about having fun.
100%,
right?
because yesterday you and I did talk about how there was a huge stigma on the fact that a lot of people think that coming to MAD events are sad and depressing, and Jason said it perfectly earlier. Your guys' loved ones would never want you to feel this way. They want you to go out and have a good time and come home safely that same night.
Right.
They want you to go out and meet new people and experience new things and come to a really cool awareness show like tonight. I think this was a great opportunity, Brooke. So thank you again. If everybody can give her a quick round of applause for Brooke.
Thank you, Jasmine.
Absolutely, Brooke. Thank you so much.
And are we getting any comments on social media?
So far we have not. So again, if
Really?
you guys are watching and you
Maybe
guys
they're
would like
busy.
they might be busy.
They might be busy.
The lights might be off for them, right? Yeah, the lights might be off. If you guys would like to participate, you can drop that below either on our Time Warp Vintage live section, or you can swing over to the Caffeinated Conversations live and also comment down below there as well.
Okay, thank you so much, Jasmine.
Absolutely.
Appreciate
Thank you again.
Thank you.
Yes.
And thank you for everyone answering those questions anonymously. Whatever. You are watching Caffeinated Conversations After Dark with Brooke Allen. Thank you so much for being with us. We are broadcasting live from the Heights Brewery in downtown Farmington. And again, we can't say it enough. This is something that I know I'm super proud of. Jason Waldron, Matt, Jasmine, Christina, everyone here, the Heights Brewery, Dave Scott, everyone here has been such an integral part. Sherry Stein and everyone from Design Team Plus, as far as standing up for this cause and kind of standing up behind us,
Absolutely.
you know, as we try to launch this initiative and just kind of get it done, right?
Yes, get it done.
Get it
bring
done.
awareness and also have fun while doing it.
Exactly, and that is exactly what we're doing. We are having a lot of fun here at the Heights Brewery.
Yes.
So thank you so much for being with us. Are we going to?
Christina's video.
We're
yep.
going to Christina's video.
We
Okay,
sure
so.
are.
And I feel like I need to change the tone for this. I mean, I really do, and I apologize, Christina.
No, it's okay.
Just because we have people who have shared their stories, and I'm so thankful for that. And while we're laughing and having fun, and even having some beer here tonight, we are here for a reason. And Christina is going to share the story of her daughter. Let's watch.
Hi, my name is Jessica Mitchell. I have a little sister, Mia Elizabeth Howard, who was killed on September 22nd, 2021. A few months before her accident, she had received her driver's license, and she had just started her senior year a month before this. She had a whole life ahead of her. She wanted to have her own family one day. She wanted to go to school to be a dental hygienist. She was very family oriented. She would be over playing with my kids all the time. She would go with us to apple orchards. She would go with us to Cedar Point. She was a huge part of our life. On top of just being my sister, she just was always around. So on September 22nd, 2021, Mia had been driving her little cousin home when a drunk driver hit her head on. He crossed over 2 lanes, killing her instantly. That night was the worst night of my entire life. I got a phone call around 10:30 from my mom saying that Mia's gone. It didn't really sink in at that time, so I just told my mom that I would be there. So I got in my truck and I hurried up and got over there as fast as I could. We didn't really know a lot because the way we found out wasn't by the police. We didn't get any info on where she was. So I'm thinking maybe she's at the hospital, and she's not actually gone. So I start calling where my mom has the GPS set at where she is. So I'm calling and I finally Dispatch doesn't tell me much. They just told me that there was an accident and that there was a fatality. So my best friend showed up there, and she drove me to the accident where my little sister was still in the car. There had been only 2 police cars at their hospital already. So I sat there until the medical examiner came, which had taken hours because she had just been sitting in her car. So I stayed there with her until she was taken away. The following morning, I went with my husband and my mom down to the medical examiner's office, and my mom had to step out of the room for that time period, and I had to identify my 17-year-old sister. I never thought in my life that I would have to go through something like this. And this man not only took Mia's life, but he has changed all of our lives forever. I spent the next 2 days planning her funeral, taking care of my mom and my family the best I could. And then it's just been constant heartache after this. It just never ends. But Matt has really helped myself with sharing Mia and her story to maybe bring awareness so that someone will actually think before they get behind the wheel after drinking. I had gotten a hold of Matt within the first week, and they sent me books for my children to help them. Just all the information to help us try and get through this. And they've been following us ever since, and we've been an active member in the MAD community. Please just use Mia's story to share her so that maybe others will think of her before they get behind the wheel. Because Mia should be here.
And again, that is Jess, Christina Beaver's daughter, speaking about her sister who was lost in a crash. And Christina, I do want to say I'm sorry. You had not seen that video yet. And so I feel like I need to acknowledge that you had not seen that. Of course, your son is here as well. And the loss is pretty new for you guys, actually. So if you want to...
It'll be 3 years, September 22nd.
Okay, so 3 years that Mia's been gone, and you've been speaking and an advocate and getting the word out there, and it's tough, and I know that.
Yes, it is, but for me, I had no other choice. I would never want any other person to go through what myself, Mia, my family, her friends have been through, and I will do everything I can. I will not stop, even if it's one person, one life.
And I think that's kind of the thought with all of us, is that, if this makes a difference with one person, if one person thinks, maybe I have had too much to drink, I'm not getting in the car tonight, then we've done our job, right? But I do know that doesn't bring them back, and that we live with that every day.
I do, but I can tell you that what I do is not for Mia. We do it together.
Yes.
She is with me.
Can you tell me about
right
the butterflies?
now. Yeah, Mia had a love for butterflies, not just because they're beautiful, which they are very beautiful, but the transformation, that there's always choices, that there's always, you can make a decision to make things better. You're in control of your life. Mm-hmm. And knowing that having those kind of choices are very empowering, and we're very empowering to her. Oh.
And so I've seen it on Instagram with you
Yeah.
that you post, and I have to admit I don't really like butterflies.
They're kind of
I
creepy.
get- yeah,
I
they're a
know.
little
I know. I
creepy to
get a lot
me.
of people that
Yes,
come
they're a little
over and they're like,
creepy.
"Ooh, I don't want to
Yes.
touch those."
But you know what?
It's
I
okay.
see it on Instagram, and I just watch it over and over again because you come across these butterflies all the time.
I grow them.
Okay.
From eggs.
You do?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Have you
Yes.
done that always or just since
No,
me?
I started since Mia. It's very cathartic,
Okay.
and it is my place of serenity to raise these butterflies, watch
Okay.
a transformation. And a lot of times, depending on my schedule, my work schedule, I take them out and release them with her.
Okay. So you're a nurse.
I work at U of M. I am work in cardiology.
Okay. But you're in the hospital setting.
Yes.
And
Yes.
I know that that's got to be tough sometimes.
Yes, it
Right?
can be.
It can be
for sure.
triggering. And I think that's one thing that people
Very
don't,
much so.
right? That people don't understand that it can be years. It can be 20 years. It can be 3. It can be 1. Whatever it is, but something can trigger you.
Yes.
And then all of a sudden you're right back there with that phone call.
It could be driving down the street.
Yes.
It could be painting my fingernails blue. Mm-hmm. You know, it could be anything, and I never know. Never know. I have to drive 94 to work, and I drive the same way that Mia took just minutes before she died. And since this has happened, I have found ways to cope and deal with the stress and the pain. I choose to celebrate Mia. She's not only a drunk driving victim, she is Mia.
Right.
She is my girl, and I will always share her with everybody, anyone and everyone.
And what a beautiful girl.
It's my girl.
That's your girl. Tell me about her.
This picture here is very, very close to my heart. There you go. I'll give it to you. This is a day she got her driver's license. And she didn't want to take this picture. I'm like, come on, Mia, just hold it up. Let's see it.
Come on.
This was 2 months before her crash. So I use this for everything. This was probably one of the biggest achievements that I was able to share with Mia in her life because she didn't make it to graduation. She was just starting 12th grade when the crash happened. And so I use this just as a reminder, 2 months in, and she's beautiful. That's my girl.
She is beautiful.
That's my girl.
I am so grateful to you for sharing Mia with us and your
Thank
story.
you for having me.
Oh my gosh.
I can't tell you how grateful I am to you and Mad, and just giving me this opportunity is amazing. Thank you.
No, thank you, Christina. And again, we do it for Mia. We do it
And
for
all the
all the
victims.
victims, right?
All the victims.
All the victims.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And you know what? I love butterflies now, just so you know. That's okay. Oh, it was the mic. Yep, dropped it. Mic drop. No. Thank you, Hugh. Thank you again, Christina. And I should say that Jessica, who you saw in that video, is actually pregnant and is going to have a baby like any minute. So we wish her all the best. We're thinking of you, Jess, and thank you so much for sharing your story with us, and to Christina and her family as well. And Sue Strong is here.
Hello, Ms. Brooke.
Hello. We talked about you a minute ago.
Yeah, oh, really?
Yes. Jason was like, well, I will step in for Sue.
Oh, okay.
But, thank you so much. So for anyone who may not know you, you are Sue Strong, and your name fits you, let me tell you, girl.
Oh, well, thanks.
Strong is what you are all about. But you have been with MAD for how long?
It will be 11 years this coming Monday.
Okay.
Actually, yeah.
11 years,
Yeah.
and you have seen so much in that time.
Yes. The first time I met a victim, they don't prepare you for that. And I heard about John and Jody Cleveland. Well, one day they ended up in the office, and it was like, oh my God, they're here. What do I do?
What do you do?
Awkward. And of course, I gave them my condolences because they lost their 3-year-old daughter. Olivia. And the crash was so intense, it ended up, she was in her car seat, she's 3 years old, and it broke her neck. So that was terrible. So, and always wanted a meaningful job, and working for Matt, it really hits the nail. Working with the victims to some degree. For the victim impact panels, the first, second-time offenders are court ordered to attend a victim impact panel.
Yeah, so let's talk about that for a minute, because they're referred to as VIP, no, victim impact panel, VIPs, right?
Yeah, VIPs.
VIPs.
Yes.
So that's so interesting, because very important person is not how I would think of them, honestly.
Yes, right. Yeah.
Right.
So,
But for someone who doesn't know what that is, I mean, these offenders go to these meetings,
yeah,
right?
they're court ordered to
They're
attend.
court ordered. And then what happens there? I know Jason speaks, Christina speaks.
Yeah, yep. I work with Jason and I work with Christina. So it's an educational program for them, where they don't become a repeat offender, and to let them know the consequences of driving under the influence, which could be prescription drugs, your drugs, marijuana, alcohol.
Anything. I mean, really
anything that's going to
right?
impair you. And it's not just getting behind a wheel, it's anything that has a motor. It could be a boat, motorcycle, RV, four-wheeler, etc. So.
Okay, so they go to those, and you organize those. You also organize the Lifesavers Award Luncheon.
Yes, the law enforcement
Yes,
luncheon.
the law enforcement
yes.
luncheon, which is so interesting, because I actually MC those for you at
Yes,
times, right?
yeah.
Do we have one coming up?
Yep, it is June 21st. So.
Am I your MC?
Pardon me?
Am I your MC?
You're the MC, yeah, the one and only, of course. Yep, and yeah, so we usually have about 200 attendees, and the officers are nominated for the number of WI arrests they received for the previous year.
Right.
Actually, Farmington Public Safety, their officer that they nominated had 42 OWI arrests last year.
Really?
For the little city of Farmington,
Wow.
which is a lot.
That is a lot.
Yep. So doesn't actually mean that these people live in Farmington, but
Right, but they're passing
they're
through.
driving
This is where
through
it happens.
Farmington.
Right.
So
Okay. So, if I know that as somebody who has gone through this process with Mothers Against Drunk Driving on a personal level, sometimes you don't know where to turn, and some people may not even want to contact Matt. We've seen some really bad crashes in the last
Yes.
couple of months, and so for somebody who may be watching or listening and they don't think they need help dealing with one of these crashes, they can reach out to you guys anytime.
anytime, yep, anytime, and our services are free.
And you walk the walk. I mean, you go through court, you do everything.
They go through the court process. Yes, we got a victim services unit, and whatever resources they need for counseling, support groups, they go accompany them through the court system. They can help them write the victim impact statement out for them at the time at sentencing, and they can even read it for the victim if they want the victim specialist to do so. So
Okay, so if somebody needs to reach out to you, how do they get in touch?
they could call our main line, 248-528-1745.
Okay, we'll put that information on our website too, because I do know I've heard from different people throughout these last years that, I don't want to call Matt, I don't need them, but then eventually they do at some point.
Yep, at some point, yep.
Okay, so thank you, Sue, for everything that you
thank
do.
you.
I appreciate it, and it's just, it's been a pleasure and honor to work with you all these years.
Yes, it's been a while.
It's been a while. It has
gonna
been a
continue.
while. It is. It's been a while, and thank you for being here.
Okay,
All right?
yes.
Yes, and thank you for driving through all that traffic.
Traffic was terrible.
Okay, thank you, Sue. Again, that is Sue Strong from Mothers Against Drunk Driving. She got stuck in traffic. It was a long journey for her, but she made it. And so now joining me is Ryan. Ryan Kavanaugh. He is the co-owner of Heights Brewery. And Ryan, I just want to say thank you again for welcoming us here. And it is just an amazing place. Everyone is enjoying the food, I think, right? Yes. Oh!
Thank you. Yep, the kitchen
And-
is 100% gluten-free.
And it's gluten-free, which is so interesting, because a lot of people say, how can beer be gluten-free? But here it is.
Half the tap system is gluten-free, the other half is normal, but the entire kitchen is 100% gluten-free.
Okay, and that is super important. Of course, Sean is
Celiac. Yep.
celiac, right? So
Yep.
that is why this has happened. And you guys have been open for 3 months.
3 months, that's it. We're still just a baby.
Okay, so how's it been going for you?
Very well. We are beating all expectations, beating all projections right now. The food and the menu are really bringing people in, and we never thought that that would be the case. We thought that, oh, we're going to open a brewery. People come for the beer. They might stay for one bite of food, but people are coming for the food and just having a beer. And so it's really crazy. We never thought that it would be that way at all.
Well, again, thank you so much for welcoming us. The gluten-free process, you brew this.
Yes.
You do this yourself.
I do.
Okay,
Yep.
so tell me real quick about this process.
Everything is made in-house. With the gluten-free beers, we use a grain that is devoid of gluten. And so right now on tap we have beer that is a sorghum base. And so we use the sorghum and we add different hops and different yeast to it to help bring out the characteristics for what we want.
Okay, so the gluten-free beer, the gluten-free menu. I mean, it is amazing. The cornbread, I don't know if you've all had the cornbread, but it's really good, right? So,
Yes. Yeah.
so really good.
Yeah, the cornbread is Sean's recipe.
Oh, is it
So,
Sean's recipe?
yep.
Oh, she didn't tell me that. Oh, see? Okay, so you guys are actually closed on Tuesdays, which is why we are here.
Correct.
Okay, so what are your hours and when can people come in?
Every day but Tuesday. We open at 11 a.m. On Monday, Wednesday, and Thursday, we close at 11 p.m. On Friday, we close at midnight. On Saturday, we close at 1 a.m. And then Sunday at 10 p.m.
Okay. All right. Well, listen, thank you again so much for having us. We are loving it. The food, the atmosphere. It's a beautiful place. Thank you so much, Ryan.
Thank you so much for being here.
Oh, gosh. Our pleasure. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
So we are, I don't even know what time it is. We're so late behind time, but you know what? We're going to just keep on going because you know what? This is such a fun show, right? So this man sitting next to me is kind of famous in the car world.
Famous is a strong word for
Is
it, but I'll
okay,
take it.
All right, okay. But this is Dave Marconi, automotive industrial curator for the Detroit Historical Society, and you are amazing because you have donated something for our online auction.
Yeah, we're happy to partner with Matt and with you and the whole group. You know, we're very proud to be here. The Detroit Historical Society takes part in these things. What we have to offer is a tour of our collections building. Now, a museum displays between 5 and 7% of what they actually own. So the building that I work in is where everything else that we own lives. It's 275,000 artifacts. You've been in one building.
It's amazing.
The last time we did a tour, we actually did it for Haggerty's barn find hunter, Tom Cotter. That video is currently at over 4 million views. So it's a pretty unique opportunity to see the collection, and you'll be touring with me, and I will bore you with automotive facts.
And you know, that's the bubble cars,
It's
right?
kind of my jam, yes.
It is your jam.
It's the Detroit bubble cars.
Yes, it is the Detroit bubble cars. And we did do that tour with him, and it was amazing. And it's in an area where you don't even know you're going. It's like knocking on a secret door.
We get, actually what people usually equate it to is the last scene of the first Raiders of the Lost Ark when they're walking the Ark down that aisle.
Yes.
My back room actually has that kind of feel to it.
It does indeed. Okay, so you guys were so generous in offering this. This is available for our online auction, so bid on that. And, so just for somebody, we were at Belle Isle. We saw you yesterday.
You did.
We've actually seen you 2 days in a row. We were at
Lucky
Belle
me.
Yeah, I know, right? We were at Belle Isle yesterday. But there's so much going on out there with the Dawson Great Lakes Historical Museum, just so much.
Yeah, we are the Detroit Historical Museum. The Dawson Great Lakes Museum is also in our museum chain. We have a constant rotation of exhibits through the museum. We just put in a big one on Detroit diesel. There's the Streets of Old Detroit, which those of you who are local probably went to in grade school. We get that a lot. But it's a small museum, takes you a couple hours to tour it, but it's really tightly curated, and our goal is telling the stories of Detroit.
And you always say that this is the perfect job.
Close? If you go back far enough, and my mother will tell you this, in my baby book for my first birthday, it said, "Seems to enjoys anything with wheels." And 100 years later, not much has changed.
Well, thank you, Dave. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
And again, we actually did the Autorama show with Time Warp Live out at Huntington Place, and that was amazing and so much fun, the pinup contest. And that's when I originally first met you.
Yes.
And you didn't have the Scooby-Doo van there.
No, I had a station wagon there. Yeah, the van was last year's car.
Okay, all right. So the station wagon, what's coming up now?
Actually, I'm building a 60 Pontiac Catalina that I got from a really good friend of mine, and that's going to be next year's car. So
unbelievable.
Try and build one a year.
All right. Well, what? Oh, so scan the Jason's telling me, scan the QR code for the online auction. right?
Yes,
Tell
absolutely.
them. Tell them to do it.
Scan the QR code. It gives you the opportunity to bid on not only my item, but all the other items we have available
Yes.
this evening.
And
There's
Lomas Brown.
that is a great jersey if you're a
It is-
Lions
yep,
fan. And
number
right now, who isn't a
75.
Lions fan?
I know, right? So 75. We love Lomas.
Yes, we do.
We love Lomas, and it's even autographed. So thank you, Dave, so much. I appreciate it. It's always a pleasure to see you.
Thank you. I must say thanks so much for having me, and good luck tonight. It's going to be fun.
Thanks, man. It's been a lot of fun, right?
Absolutely.
I see a policeman off in the distance. I don't know. What is happening?
Officer Hurwitz.
Oh, hello. Hi.
How are you? Nice
Hi.
to meet you.
Nice to meet you. I'm like, I know, right? Oh. So hi.
Hi, how are you?
So good. So I saw the policeman, I'm like, am I getting arrested? What is happening?
I was invited to be here
Yes,
as a
I know.
guest.
Yes,
and,
thank you so much. So you are Jake Horde, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so public safety officer of Farmington.
That's correct.
We had the mayor here a little while ago, so that's awesome, right? And
Yep.
you're here. So tell me how it is for you out on the streets of Farmington.
Farmington, it's a very small community, very close-knit community, very customer service oriented. And basically, we try and view every run as we're trying to help people, where the people that call us, or the people that don't call us, the drunk drivers that we're arresting that need to be off the streets, right?
Well, we just heard Sue Strong from MAD say that there were 42, that an officer of yours, I don't know who it was, but an officer in Farmington made 42 OWIs. And that's a lot for this area, right?
Yes, so that was me.
It was?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh,
Thank you.
congratulations!
Yes, I've won the MAD Officer of the Year every year since I came to Farmington.
How long
This
have you
is
been
my
in
third
Farmington?
year
Okay.
in a row. Hopefully I'll win it
Yes.
next year, but there is a young guy that's pretty motivated that's going to give me a run for my money.
Okay.
Yeah, 42, very high. That encompasses everything from your basic drunk driver, your third offense, your operating under the influence of drugs, or OUID in Michigan, and all those included offenses.
Okay, so let me ask you this. As you're making these arrests, what are you thinking? I don't know, can you answer that? I mean,
Yes, we
okay,
can
so
answer that.
what are you thinking when you pull somebody over and they're just drunk off their mind?
So those ones are less stressful. As a police officer, when you're searching for drunk driving enforcement, the twice the legal limits or even higher, you don't have to look for those. They're hitting curbs. People are calling on their phones, right? The 08s to the .1s, those are the ones that you really have to look for. And what I'm looking for is a person materially and appreciably impaired, right? Is their ability to operate that motor vehicle negatively impacted by their consumption of alcohol, a controlled substance, or a combination of the two.
So years ago, I was making a commute I was doing NPR, and I was on the road at 1:30 in the morning, going to host Morning Edition, and I saw this pickup truck swerving. And what's interesting is that you don't always know if you should call.
Correct.
Right? So I was kind of hesitant, but I kept seeing it and I thought, oh my gosh, I think this truck is going to take me out. So I did finally call. Ironically, there was a police officer right at the exit, and so they ended up getting him, but I pulled over to Dunkin' Donuts to get my coffee because that's what I do. And it was so funny because I was in the drive-thru and the girls working were like, oh my God, do you see this guy? He's like getting out of his pickup truck. He can't even stand and he's wearing no pants.
No.
So then he passed out. So I was glad I called.
Yes. My advice, not necessarily the advice, is always call. If you call and you're wrong, we make a positive contact with a citizen, maybe correct some driving. People are distracted, people are on their phones, people got all sorts of things going on, right? If you call and you're wrong, it's no big deal. We can cut them loose with a warning. If you call and you're right, you get a dangerous driver off the street.
And so for anyone out there who may see somebody swerving or driving irrationally, just like you just said, make the call.
Make the call.
Right? You guys are not going to be mad.
Make the call. I've never been upset. Now, I take it an extra step. If I call and that person is drunk, assuming the person gives in, that some people want to remain anonymous,
right.
I try and call that person for that reason to encourage them to call again, to be like, hey, yes, this person was intoxicated, thank you.
Yeah, it's important, right?
Yes.
And nobody's going to get in trouble for calling.
No.
right? So,
No.
well, listen, thank you so much for your service. I
appreciate it. It was nice to meet
It was
you.
a
Thank
pleasure
you.
to meet. I guess I'll see you
Yeah,
soon.
yeah.
Congratulations.
Thank you, man. Hopefully you never see me.
I know. Well, yeah, I won't see. What is happening?
Well, hello there. How are
Hi.
you?
Oh, look, they gave me your name. It's Charlie
What did
Langton
they
from
say
Fox
there?
2
She
Detroit.
spelled it right. She spelled it right. Christina's the producer. Are you lining up all these guests? Really? I think there's the person you ought to cheer. That's a hard thing to do. How are you?
I'm good. What's going on?
What are you doing? This is a mad event and it's a bar?
Can you believe
Are you
it?
serious?
I am.
Are
I
the
am.
Mad, what are the mad people doing? Sue, are you serious? Unbelievable.
What do you think of this?
I think it's wonderful.
Do you?
I just tried some of those beers. I don't know about those gluten-free beers, but the real beer was pretty good.
Okay.
I'll get around to the gluten-free.
You had the gluten-free the other day.
I
We were
had
on
the
Fox 2 with you.
How did that? Anybody see you on television?
Yes, I have the picture to prove it. It's over there,
Oh,
laminated.
is that right?
Yes, we
I understand
laminated
you did
it.
Channel 4 today, right?
Yeah, yeah.
No, it's great. They're great people over
Yes,
there.
yeah, no.
So how are you doing? You're sounding great.
Thank you.
I was just in Ann Arbor
Okay.
covering a story.
Right,
And
yeah,
I figured, well,
as
I've
you
got
do.
to come over here and
Okay.
listen to you on the way over. So I figured, you know what, I'll just stop in and say hello.
Well, thank you so much. And
Yes.
so honestly, Charlie, we cover so much in the news, right?
Yes.
And I mean, even though I'm technically out of the news.
This table here is a fan of yours, I
I
can
know,
tell
right?
there,
They're-
right? Yeah, is that right? Yes. Yes.
But as you.
Yeah, are they drinking gluten-free beer?
Yes, they
oh,
are.
wait, they are.
drinking
All right,
gluten-free.
go ahead.
They
Yeah,
are
go
all
ahead.
gluten-free over there.
Good.
We know this. So the idea of, I don't know how it affects you, but it affects me, obviously. But
Yeah.
when you hear these stories, when you're constantly out there on the roads
Yeah.
chasing these down, and you know the victims behind it,
Well, listen, let's be honest here. A lot of crashes are due to alcohol.
Mm-hmm.
And it's sad when you go out there and 5 o'clock in the morning or something like that, and you see someone, maybe a motorcycle, a single vehicle accident,
Mm-hmm.
or you see a collision, someone going too fast or weaving or whatever, and it's because they've had too much to drink.
Right.
And it's unbelievable. And it's completely 100% avoidable. And it's a sad thing to cover because we know it's due to alcohol.
Right.
And you just don't have to do that. So really, seriously, I make fun a little bit about Matt and Sue and you. And,
Oh, nice.
But
Glad you admitted
I
that.
think this is, listen, if you're at a bar, have the common sense to, you could have a beer. It is, by the way, it is legal to drink.
Yes.
It is legal, assuming you don't go over that 07, I
Well,
think
right.
is the number
Okay,
now.
so that is the message. And I said that to you the
Yes.
other day, right?
Yes.
It's not about not drinking.
Yeah, but you got to know when that limit is.
Correct.
And that's the message what I think you're trying to do
It
here.
is, it is.
And I'll tell you, if I'm
How
in the
am I
bar,
doing?
you're doing great. Because if I'm in the bar and I see the mad people here, I'm not going to have that extra drink.
Interesting.
So that's really good.
Oh, good.
It's a deterrent.
Thank you.
You should be at a bar every night.
I should be at a bar every night. No, I should not be at a bar every night. that would
it's
not be good.
No, it's very sad. Seriously, I know the message, and I just heard your last guest talk about losing a family member. Can you imagine that losing a daughter, and you, and I know your story, and
Yes, and
it's
Jason's
just
and-
crazy. Jason,
Yes,
oh my
right?
gosh,
So, yeah.
it's sad covering these. I
I
don't
know.
like covering them. I don't like knowing people that have lost. So I think the message that's getting out is a good thing, and if you can be creative in the way that's doing it, I think it's fantastic.
Are we being creative enough?
You're being creative enough. What is this lights on, lights off stuff? What does that have to do with drunk driving? Are we talking about drinking, or what are we talking about, Brooke? What are we talking about? Is someone blushing there? Oh my gosh! Woo! Where is this thing here? Wow.
All right, so what's your name? Okay, so this is Charlie
Ooh.
Langton from Fox 2 and
Lights
W.
on, lights on. What's the next question?
I don't have one.
A good thing.
I think I might be
Good thing.
speechless. Right. I think Jasmine's going to take you out now.
Oh, good. Is
I
there
mean, not
someone
take
here?
you out. Yeah.
Oh, good. Oh, hello. Hey. Oh, good. There's someone else
There's
here.
someone else out here.
Wonderful.
See
Good
you,
to see
Charlie.
you. Yes,
Thank
we
you.
will. Bye, everybody.
Are you guys tired of me yet?
How awesome is that, right?
Oh my goodness, Brooke, it's such an amazing thing today, you guys.
This is amazing.
Yes,
I just want to say, I don't know, are we missing anyone? I've kind of lost track of time. Jason is the last one. Okay, so listen, We are, this has been amazing.
It has been phenomenal, you guys. And while Brooke is giving me this quick second, I just want to say a huge shout out to everybody that is in this room. You have made somebody who is no longer with us so proud today, so happy. They are so proud of you guys being so strong and wholehearted today. You guys took this entire evening to be so selfless and to really bring awareness to something that is super important. So give a round of applause to yourself. You guys deserve it.
And you know, that's coming from a 25-year-old.
100%.
Yeah, and I actually take pride in that.
Aw,
I
Brooke,
do. I
Brooke.
really do, because you know, I mean, you could say, well, I'm old or whatever, but I mean, coming from you, I really appreciate that, so thank you.
Of course, because I want to see you go out and have a great time, but I want to see you the next day.
Exactly.
I want to see Jason the next day. I want to see Steve and Dave Marconi the next day. I want to see everybody in this room the next day after you guys go out.
Yep.
You guys deserve to make it home safe. You guys deserve to see your loved ones. And,
And
you
your
guys
families deserve
yes,
it.
absolutely.
Right? Nobody wants to get that phone call.
100%.
Yes, so thank you, Jasmine. Thank you
Yes,
so much.
absolutely,
And we'll do
guys.
this again next month.
Yes, we'll see you guys next month. Yes, absolutely.
Next month. All right. All right. We're
All
wrapping. I
right.
was just told to wrap it up with you, man.
Yes, well,
We're
you'll
wrapping it
actually
up.
see me next week on the show. I cannot believe Charlie Langton made it. I'm so happy about that. That is awesome.
I'm rolling my eyes at Charlie.
I know, right? I am so moved over this whole thing and everybody that showed up. I mean, you know how near and dear to my heart, MAD, and trying to get everybody to understand the prevention aspect of it and how easy it is and how all these needless crashes happen. I mean, it's needless.
100% preventable.
100% preventable.
Right.
I like to refer to and I know we're going to be wrapping it up, but I think it's important to understand two things when it comes to MAD. And that is, one, plan. You plan how you go, you plan what you're going to wear, you plan where you're going to go, you plan who you're going to go with when you go out for the evening. You want to make sure that you plan how you're getting home. Let's stop the whole nonsense of, as soon as I walk through the bar door, the planning is gone.
Right. Right. It's in,
You know, and we need everybody here who knows that next person who's in a crash may be the one to cure something or to do something.
Right.
And, you know, accidents are human nature and are meant to be forgiven. That's why we call drunk driving crashes.
Yes. Yes. Wow.
Sorry about that little
No, it's all right.
run on.
It's okay. It's okay. I had said I was not going to cry tonight because I'm not. I refuse. And we have no Kleenex. So I'm just going to say that there have been so many people involved in this, and I'm so thankful to everybody.
To My Michigan TV and Dave for everything he's done to do this. And if you guys have not downloaded his app, do it now.
Right?
So that you can watch these shows on
So you
your
can watch
smart
me
TV
over
at
and
home.
over again. Right?
My Michigan TV app, download it.
It's free, and we love it. Like, thanks for that. Thanks for that. Obviously, Time More Vintage, thank you so much.
Always.
Christina, she worked hard, my executive producer, on getting these tickets together
Jasmine.
and online. Jasmine, love, the Heights Brewery, I mean,
Sean and Ryan.
and their team, and
Crazy.
Sherry Stein, Design Team Plus, Karen.
And Karen and Sherry.
Harold and everyone.
And
I mean,
everybody.
I just.
Hugh Anderson.
Yes, Hugh
the
Anderson.
photographer.
Smile. And you know, I just want to say thank you. So the plan for this show moving forward is that it will always have the rolling effect of Mothers Against Drunk Driving to be a fundraiser. So Sean and Ryan have already graciously agreed that when we move on to our next brewery, the night of the next show, they will also here donate 10% of their proceeds to Mothers Against Drunk Driving.
That does deserve a round of applause. And I know your hope is that as we move along.
Yes.
Go ahead.
As we move along to
From one
yes,
brewery
a
to
rolling,
another.
a rolling effect, and obviously I want to make it through Michigan, and then move out of state and just keep it going.
And keep it going, and
keep it
hopefully
going.
get 10% from each of those
Each of those breweries as we
and
go.
then we can fund MAD
Yes.
appropriately and look at it as the nonprofit that it is and
Right.
the help that it does.
Yes, and it does so much help. Take it from me, take it from Jason.
Yeah.
And again, thank you so much. I don't even know what time it is. It's 6:24. We're so late, but you know what? This is Caffeinated Conversations After Dark with Brooke Allen. Thank you so much for being with us tonight.
Thank you.